research paper about...
Fuck you and your research paper. Totally epic, bro. Too bad I'm waiting to see if this thing works on my phone, so we can't get started yet. Oh my god, it's working. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing myself right now. You'll never be able to hear me hearing myself, chat, but you just gotta believe it happened. Now we gotta take this off the screen. Now it's gonna be a short stream because, you know, I dicked around and then I also recorded a little bit, you know, just another 20 minutes of audio, you know. That equals about 10 minutes of video audio, you know, just adding on a little bit, yeah. And, you know, I added a whole nother section to this video, you know. How many times have you heard me say that? That's pretty cool. Let's bring it up. Where is it? Oh my god. It's up in DualSense. We've got this whole conclusion we gotta do now. We just gotta flesh it out a little bit. Oh, there's just a bit of notes here. We gotta script out a pinned comment, you know. We gotta do a bibliography. Isn't that crazy? But other than that, you know, about 9k words in, mostly recorded, you know. No biggie. But, are we really doing doomerism, video uploading stuff at the beginning of stream? First of all, let's close this shit. We don't need that. Oh my god, we'll talk about this in a second. Minty just sent me that video. Oh my god, do we have any tweets? I don't think we really do. Oh my god, Pikachu looking after Ekans when they get lost. You know, this great Pokemon episode where we see what the Pokemon are saying. Never has there been a better episode. Now, why don't you all remind me? And why don't I remind myself? How long ago did this shitty Rainier video come out? A month ago! Fucking mute yourself, idiot. What's the exact date? The 20th! It's been a month and 5 days. Does, 30 days have September, April, June, and November. So August has 31 days. That's crazy. I don't think this video is going to come out before the end of the month. Part of me is like, all right, I'll make a short Madman video before the end of the month just to have one out by the end of the month. But that's probably not going to happen either. But we've got to see. Today was my first of 2 days off. And then I'm not going to have another day, 2 days off for a long time, I don't think. In a row, at least. But I've kind of also wasted today, you know, didn't do much. I edited a little bit of audio. I've edited that part of the script. Australia, we love Australia here. And more would have had to have been completed. In order for us to have somehow hit the coming out tomorrow release date, or to set us up well for the will come out later release date. Because I'm going to try and do let's just call it post-production, chat, because that sounds cool. Post-production on this video, where I'm going to re-record a bunch of lines I don't like and cut out a bunch of unnecessary bits and add a lot of little annotations on screen and stuff. And by annotations, I just mean like text. Is that an annotation? Annotation on YouTube used to mean you would click a thing. Remember that, chat? That was crazy. Back when YouTube was good, before, you know, everything went bad when we got older. Oh my god, QT Cinderella clips. Last of Us Part 2 playthrough clips, you know. Shows you what I've been doing, huh? The online left is cooked. Hasanabi reacts. We love Hassan here, of course. Torchic was ahead of its time. What the fuck does this mean? I'm getting distracted. But anyway. The video front is looking bad, chat. Is looking bad. Unless I rush things. I'll make a different video. But, you know, we'll never know.
Time. Long before starter Pokemon were available to catch in the wild, Torchic alone could be caught wild in Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
That ain't true. There ain't no way.
In Gen 4. But the process to obtain it made it arguably the rarest wild Pokemon in the entire game. Players would need the Pokewalker route sightseeing, but the route was extremely limited, only dropping off of a local event distribution in Japan and Korea. But let's say you somehow got the route anyways. You would need to take 10,000 steps on any given day in order to give Torchic a measly 1% chance of appearing. At which point you could finally catch it and take it home. Fortunately, this is where the notoriety ends for the adorable chick, and there's otherwise nothing mechanically unusual about Torchics caught in this way. And so if you're really jonesing for one in this generation, you're better off just picking it up from Steven in Saffron City. Torchic is a
Bro, you can just get one from Steven in Saffron City? Now that's cool. Now, Mr. R is here saying we love Hassan. I might have been being sarcastic. I don't know what Mr. R thinks. Oh yes, I was downloading some Mr. R footage today because we will need some. We'll need some, I think, for, because at the end here, silly old me, bring this up for fuck's sake, is starting to talk about how, like, the edits they did to some of the final trailers over the, like, final game. So I'm like, well, you see, they kept this shot in, but Joel's got a different outfit on to try and trick you into thinking he's there later when he's actually dead. So I have to have reference footage for what it looks like in the trailer versus what it looks like in the eventual game. And, like, the Dina getting cut out of a bunch of shots because a lot of these final trailers try to convince you that Dina's going to die. And all that sort of stuff. And now, in retrospect, I'm like, there are other moments where I, like, chose a creative decision to try and not use any footage. But now that I'm using some at the end, I may as well use some back here. God, it's 15 fucking pages. So yippee, after, like, I don't know, how long has it been, Mr. R? How long ago did you record that footage? Like, 2 years ago? It'll finally come out. Mr. R is genuinely a fan, chat. Heath is also here. What was I saying? Yeah, so I guess that's cool. But I'm sick of this fucking video. This fucking video needs to be done. But we're chugging away. I also need, and I'm just going to get these from YouTube videos, I think. I also have, like, a mini section going over all the times Naughty Dog characters didn't die, which includes a lot of Uncharted footage, so... But I'm pretty sure all these scenes are the more famous Uncharted scenes, and they'll just be on YouTube. I can just say in the corner, I got this from YouTuber XYZ. Epic. So it's like Sully getting shot at the beginning of the first game. Sully getting shot at the end of the third game. We love Sully getting shot. He didn't actually get shot in either of them. Crazy. And then... Nate faking out deaths in 4, and Sam fake out death at the end, and then the Joel fake. That's one of the reasons I need part 1 footage, because of the Joel fake out death, and the Ellie fake out deaths near the end. I've been doing some crazy shit. First of all, if Mr. R's here, we can talk about video games a little bit. I've defeated 3 Colossi in Shadow of the Colossus. I I had to look up how to beat the third one, alright? Old video games are hard. They expect you to just infer how to beat things. So I've been making slow progress. I could have played some video games today, but I chose not to. And then I also bought and downloaded and played maybe the first 40 minutes of Days Gone. It's okay. It definitely feels like a bad Naughty Dog game, where it's like, even certain things, especially when you go back and you look at footage of The Last of Us Part 2, and it's like, there's so many, like, clever ways it gets around getting in its own way. Days Gone just gets in its own way, like, constantly. And I mean in, like, sort of little, like, gameplay things where they want certain things to happen. Like, there's one part where your friend is like, he's got to get on the bike first to trigger the thing to happen. And you're both just standing there, and he's not moving. And then you realize, oh, I'm in his walking path to get to the bike, so let me just walk out of the way, and then he'll get on the bike. But then you go to get on the bike, and the button prompt doesn't come out, and then you walk away, and you go back, and then the button prompt comes up. And there was a bunch of little things like that where it was like, oh, if I was watching all this Last of Us Part 2 footage right now, I'd probably be having a better time. Other than that, it's like a third-person shooter, which I like, so it's been... but also I haven't done much shooting yet, because it's like the first 40 minutes. And all the zombies being around is cool, and I haven't played like a video game in forever that's actually like a third-person shooter thing, so it all feels pretty good. The last time I did was like when I played 20 minutes of No Return, which is the Last of Us Part 2 DLC thing. But yeah, we're trugging through some video games. Shadow of the Colossus, honestly, I'm not enjoying too much. It's a little frustrating. I hate how the horse moves. I feel like everybody has always complained about that. Every time I'm running around this game, I'm like, man, what if we had like a cool Attack on Titan game? And then I'm like, I played like 70 hours. That might not be an exaggeration of that first Attack on Titan PS4 game. And honestly, it was pretty cool. It didn't look as good as Shadow of the Colossus remake, obviously. But you could just ride around, and there was a Titan, and you pressed a button, and you did a little acceleration, and it felt cool to kill this dumb fucking Titan. I know there's a second game. I remember looking at gameplay of it, and they changed a bunch of stuff that I didn't necessarily seem to like. It's like, maybe I'll play those games. I like dumb video games, because I even really like that Berserk Musou game. I feel like I played like 50 hours of that, because I got close to platinuming that and the Attack on Titan one. Fuck it, let's just go back and do it. We can do it easy. There's also like other things, like I have Spider-Man, I have God of War. The only problem with God of War is like 4 years ago I did get like 4 hours in, so I'm like, oh, do I really want to replay that? I don't know why I don't want to play Spider-Man, but that's kind of in the way. Detroit I have too. I'll play that eventually. The ones that I'm like thinking like right next is like, oh, Horizon 2, brother. Let's get in there. I also never played the DLC for Horizon 1. I don't know how story necessary that is. And also, obviously, Crash. But I feel like to play Crash, because I replayed Crash 1 not that long ago, right? At the end of last year, I think. Oh my god, that's so long ago! And then I started playing a bit of Crash 2, and I wanted to finish it before I went to New Zealand the second time, but then I played it, and it didn't save properly, and I was like, oh, I was like 5 levels in and had gotten the annoying, boring gem in the first level where you just avoid all the boxes. Stupid blue gem. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that again, so I just didn't play it. But I feel like I want to play them and then I want to replay the remake, and then I'll play Crash 5. But there's also the kart racer one, so then I have to replay Crash Team Racing, and then Nitro Kart, I'm pretty sure, is bundled into that remake, so I got to replay that too. Which are all things I vaguely want to do. It's just a lot to get to it. And then there's also the Tomb Raider games that I kind of want to play. But anyway, there's our video game roadmap. I recorded them between July and October of 2023. So that's not that long ago. That's also about a year ago. Absolutely base game, Shadow of Colossus is base, that is. Nitro Kart isn't bundled in, just the characters and maps. Well, yeah, but I want to be like re-familiar with the maps. But I feel like a lot of the Nitro Kart maps are like remakes of the original ones. Well, not remakes, but it's like similar conceits. Like the first map is the beach one or whatever. Honestly, I'm in my brain. I had Nitro Kart way before I had Team Racing, and so I confuse them a little bit. But yeah, we'll think about all that stuff later. There's also, I still don't know how possible it even is for me to finish Pokemon Stadium New Game Plus with just the rentals. So I kind of want to try and do that, and if not, there was that one time I opened Stadium 2 just to see what it looked like, and it looked really cool. And I was like, oh. And I feel like that killed my momentum in Stadium 1, where I was like, oh, I just want to play Stadium 2. But now I'm not playing either of them. So that's also on the all agenda. And then I'm also like 8 gyms into a Heart Gold playthrough that I've been putting off for like a year that I should get back to now or give up on. But I just got a Phanpy, bro. And you have to wait until like right before the 8th gym to get that. And that's the only thing we want in life. So, anyway. On the video game front, that happened. I was going to transition into something else update related before we did video games, but I don't remember what it was. There was a new Five Nights at Freddy video game that looks really cool because it's all pixel arty and stuff, and that's what good video games look like. We watched that checklist video last time on stream. So that's not interesting. That couldn't have been what I was updating. I already did the crossword for today. So unless there's a new crossword immediately, this was the easiest crossword of all time. Playing without an account. Oh no, does it get me on my IP address for doing too many games? No, I think it's device. But this is bus, and then this was Hugo, which fucked me up because this is buggy, and I thought it was boggy. But that fucked me up. And then what was this one? Let me see. This was Muggy. See? It's easy to get confused. This is Eggs, which was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. This is Hey. Oh my god, 22 seconds. But also, the connections were super easy. So, you know, I'm just embarrassed, you know. Embarrassed for the New York Times, for they thought that I could trick me. Did you watch the Morbid Zoo video yet? If it's one of the ones you've sent me recently, Mr. R, I have not watched nearly any of them. Because I haven't watched any goddamn videos. If there's something that has been slacking very much, it's been the video watching. Also, part of me feels that there haven't been too many really good videos this year. Why did I give this one only okay? Oh no, I thought this was the the bread tube guy. But he made a good video. I think his name is okay. We gave that one a grade. Everybody calm down. But yeah. Like all the video of the year contenders have been like documentaries. And it's like, oh. But anyway, I'm sure towards the back end of the year I'll start panicking and watching a bunch of videos. Last of Us Part 2 video gaming. I might start Fleabag tonight just because I love being unproductive. Though we've been rather productive recently. I've really fallen off the fucking Pokemon episode ranking too since I've started working on this Last of Us Part 2 video. But still, that video's got to come out by the end of the year. Yes, I added all the ones you had in the media channel to the playlist. But I feel like there's been a few recently. Oh my god, we're getting Twitch clips out the fucking ass. I don't know what I did to deserve this. We will never watch these videos. These videos are just asking for punishment. Like, especially if they're from 4 years ago. If it was from like 1 year ago, then maybe it wouldn't be stupid. We really are getting a bunch of silent things today. Click on a video. Top 100 anime OPs. Was it one of these? This is a vaguely interesting video. It said why you're not really invested in Jujutsu Kaisen, but it had Kurapika and Guts in the thumbnail, so that's funny. Boa is supposed to be coming out with a new album. Crazy. No, this is from the same channel. It's just a Jujutsu Kaisen hater channel. This is crazy. This? Was it one of these things? This is fucking with me. I don't like forgetting things, but I forget things awful lot. Hey, this channel was good. Oh, kill yourself. Why are we on the fucking secondary ENT channel? Come on now. Oh, and the video is going to be... The channel title was Lara made a website. Now, what video did she make last time that we liked? No, this one wasn't that good. I remember seeing that thumbnail for forever, though. Maybe I watched this XD one. I feel like that was a good one. Oh, yeah, the Safari Zone one was interesting because nobody actually knows how that fucking shit works. But anyway. Did I add it? No, I haven't yet. I'm not falling over myself. Oh, where'd this Elite RE idiot go? He still's not streaming. You ever notice that? Still not doing nothing. No video. And it's the end of the week. My goodness. Can't even show up for stream, huh? Now, this is fucking with me still. There's... No, me and Alita have not watched any more X-Men. Because I wanted to wait until after this video is out, which was supposed to be the end of last week, and then was supposed to be the end of this week, and now it's supposed to be the end of the month, but probably won't be. I don't know, I think I have to give up and investigate our great videos here. So I'm assuming there might be... It's 4 months ago, so there's probably Jujutsu Kaisen manga spoilers, so if Alita clicks on the stream, he's going to be very mad. And I don't care about Hunter x Hunter fucking spoilers, bro. I already know everything. Actually, I don't. Oh my god, that was like going punching things. And Berserk punching things. I like that Berserk guy.
It's hard to compartmentalize that Hunter x Hunter started its tenure in the 90s, because it very much feels like a commentary on the shonen tropes it would inspire.
Oh, no. We're not starting off
mean
strong,
it's
chat.
critical or deconstructive, because I don't think it's trying to be. In fact, I think it not only revels in those conventions,
Okay, we said it wasn't necessarily
but
deconstructed.
also takes them to their natural endpoints. You see, I really like Yu Yu Hakusho. For all of its faults near the end, it is a very endearing story, because Tagashi has a real knack for making every character feel like genuine people, guys that you could actually meet. This plays into the themes of the story pretty well, that we like to subjugate those who we share
I
ambition
remember that baby from like the 2 episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho I
with.
watched.
As much as he wanted to explore that even more, Shonen
He
Jump
was
take
like
a
King Yama, I'm pretty sure, or something.
lot of pride in their terrible storytelling. So a story as real or even as dark
Wait,
as you
who's
do
terrible
want, like genuine
storytelling?
people. Guys that
Shonens? Don't show
you
Miller
could
this
actually
video,
meet.
he'll
This
go
plays into the
fucking
themes of the
crazy.
story pretty well, that we like to subjugate those who we share ambitions with. As much as he wanted to explore that even more, Shonen Jump take a lot of pride in their terrible storytelling. So a story as real or even as dark as Yu Yu was shaking up to be just wouldn't fit in the mold. I think that's why Hunter x Hunter has those commonalities with the magazine's past and present outings. It's the story that the magazine wanted Tagashi to make in the first place, but as the story continues, it seems to be asking what if these fantastical elements, these plucky archetypes, and this larger-than-life story for kids existed in the real world. What if that classic indomitable human spirit was shown as a bad thing? What if a child was forced to grow out of his self-centeredness because his worldview was shown to be hypocritical and flawed? What if the star of that revenge subplot was continuously isolated because of his ambitions? What if
Do you think this is... I think we're lining up for a bread shoopy video here, which is not what I expected. I expected Jujutsu Kaisen's trash funny video. Because I feel like we might be going into the berserk. Griffith wants to change things systemically, and Shonen says that, oh, if you just power up and go with your friends and bootstraps Lamau, you'll win. But we'll see.
the kid
I'm also doing the X-Men rewatch, but weekly basis. I did see your post about giving X-Men 1 8 out of 10. Is that exactly what you gave it? Just copying me? Question mark. Let's see. I'll tell you what we haven't been doing. We haven't been watching any fucking movies recently either. Where's my films? Now, this isn't going to take me to films, and I'm supposed to click on lists or something, right? No, films is right. Oh, let's order it by... Come on now, click on the fucking thing here. Where's, like, the when rated? Newest. No, I would have given it a 7. Mr. Oz overrating that terrible X-Men movie. And there's a list. I see, I understand. Oh, I just remembered a Mr. Oz specific thing. Remember my kind of funny clip where Greg Miller's calling PC gamers pedophiles, Mr. R? You liked it on Twitter. It was great. It was funny because that's an old clip, but I got a follow-up recently because there was a video. Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. What are we... Oh, that's right. They just don't upload their shit. They just leave it live. Now, I'll find it. Let me look. I'm eagle-eyed. Greg Miller is a PC gamer now, where Greg tells his whole story about how he went on vacation. He read this book by one of his old colleagues or something about the history of Blizzard or whatever, and he started playing World of Warcraft. I nearly unsubscribed, frankly, but that was a little funny follow-up. It happened right after I retweeted that clip, and that was crazy. But nobody else would appreciate that, but Mr. R, so here we are. Disgusting Super Eye Patch Wolf-esque inflection. Heath, that depends if we're loving the great old Super Eye Patch Wolf inflection or the new Super Eye Patch Wolf inflection that we don't like as much. Very dependent, because you know how much I like that old one. And if we're talking about Berserk, we're very on brand. Oh, I have lists on my page too. Yes, but I always forget whether or not lists is literally the list of films, because I feel like Letterboxd is bad. And even though it's the greatest Mal thingy to ever exist, sometimes I click on the wrong thing and get frustrated.
kids stricken with self-worth issues actually got to address it. Seriously, you guys think this is okay? Shonen characters nowadays have a problem with being selfish. More so that they aren't selfish enough. They don't look out for themselves, especially compared to their predecessors. However, that selfishness, that stubbornness...
This is true. This is another, like, little funny realism thing. Where, like... Because obviously Shonen is for little babies, you know, little baby pussies. And, you know, what we tell babies is that you gotta believe in yourself and you gotta try hard and you gotta chase your dreams and all these things. But a lot of these sort of, vapid seems a bit harsh. These vapid types of messages often can end up being double-edged swords if applied to the extremes. Like, that Hitler fella probably shouldn't have followed his dreams, chat. And somebody told him when he was a little kid to follow his dreams, and look where it got us. Not so good, not so good. But... And then what did he say most recently? Because another thing is, like, selflessness. And how selflessness kind of can end up leading to more bad than good. And Mr. R's familiar with this because he likes the Mr. Beast charity argument, where it's like charities sort of are part of this, where you try to be selfless, but then it sort of substitutes something that maybe like the state should intervene on, or something regarding that, or even like if you're constantly selfless and you're giving like people something and then you disappear and they rely on you, it's like the stupid fucking teach an idiot to fish and he'll feed himself forever, but just give him some fish and fish for him and he'll starve the next day or some shit like that. A lot of themes generally are very vague. So it opens up to this, and especially if you're like, well, what if Kurapika's revenge was bad or something, or, I don't know, I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter in too much detail, or Gon is too selfish. But I'm sure Miller has a whole dissertation about how that's not actually what Hunter x Hunter is doing and stuff like that, so whatever. Have a look there, Based. X-Men 1 will change as the rewatch happens. Wait, are we looking at Mr. I's lists? I'll do it. Why not? Now, this is what I'm talking about. This fucking website sucks. How do I get to my friends? Now, profile. That would seem a good place to start. Watch list, tags, networks. I think if you scroll down... Oh. Now, what is Mr. R's avatar on this one? I think he doesn't have one. There we go. I'm a genius. I remember these fucking things. Then we got lists. Remember when we watched Battle Royale? That was crazy. X-Men franchise ranked before the rewatch. Let's check this out. Halloween franchise, Alien franchise. I can't tell if everybody really likes this new Alien movie that came out or if everybody hates it. 2023 ran out. I saw some movies then. I don't think I've seen a single 2024 movie. Are these all of them or just the ones it's showing me? List popularity. That's crazy. X-Men, we've got Logan. Haven't seen that one. First Class, up higher than that shitty Days of Future Past. True, what a smart man. X2, obviously X3 is better. Me and Elite Ari agree. Now, Elite Ari says Deadpool and Wolverine is the shittest movie of all time, so we'll see about that one. Elite Ari loves this one down here. Oh my god, Last Stand is all the way down here. We don't like that. Apocalypse. Me and Elite Ari both have vague memories of this one. Deadpool 1 I've watched. Deadpool 2 I haven't. Which one's this? This is original X-Men. And we're missing one. We're missing the Phoenix one. Oh my god. Mr. Rice saying he hasn't seen them all yet. Are we missing another one? Oh, The Wolverine, I guess. But I don't remember anything about that fucking movie, so. Everybody loves this Logan movie. We've got Oppenheimer, obviously bad movie. What are we doing here? Killers of the Flower Moon, obviously pretty good movie. I think I also gave it 4 stars. I think I gave Oppenheimer 4 stars. Barbie, I'm still going to watch. This movie I watched, I thought it was okay. I think I gave it like 3. I maybe gave it 4 stars, But I haven't seen any of the other ones. Poor Winnie the Pooh apparently wasn't very good. 1.5 stars. Yikers. But anyway, there's Mr. Oz lists.
That allows you to cling to your life and your dreams is the very reason why we, in the real world, can't connect to each other, why we destroy each other. Our hubris is our worst enemy. Takashi likens animals and beasts to be better than us because any action from them exists purely from instincts. However, we choose to be awful to each other. And the only thing that's so great about being a human is that we can realize that and change. JJK's characters don't work. They can't work. They're not given enough time to work. For example, the tree
skip just to the berserk
was formed and then separated as soon as they become real friends. The downfall of Geto is sped run.
Also, this is a more interesting channel than I thought, so let's look at this. Really long bio, and then I clicked on it and I was pranked. That's crazy. My Hero Academia, shallow waste of time. Send this one to Elite Ari. That'll be great. I want Elite Ari to argue with videos. It's funny. Oh, we can't be leaking Discords here. So you're going to get an animated tree. Remember that, Mr. R? Remember this fucking reread we were doing? Click on this. Click on Elite Ari's stupid face. Go to the YouTube links. Paste. I'm a genius. I'm great. But also I have one note in the general chat. Oh my god. It's Mr. R. Minimize that. Go over here. Click on... I forgot it mutes me when I do that. I was speaking. I was yapping. But anyway, I pasted it. That's all you need to know. Now we should really return to that. It's been so long we would have to start again, though. But I mean, it has to happen eventually, right? How Chainsaw Man fell off? Oh my god, this is the greatest channel of all time. Decriminalization in anime, it's never done well. See, I knew it was a BreadTube channel. The mistakes of Bleach and My Hero Academia. A critique/retrospective. Should Spider-Man suffer? True, Spider-Man's always suffering and stuff. That's no good. We don't like that. The Road to One Piece full opening series announcement. There's no One Piece videos yet. That's crazy. I do feel like One Piece gets a lot of selective praise from more BreadTube type channels. And I feel like it is going to come crashing down. With the conclusion of the series, because I don't think like the Marines are going to be completely wiped out. And I think people are going to be mad about that. But hold on, we're liking this channel so far.
Run and hidden inventory. Gojo comes out of the box, dies, and doesn't even recognize the tragedy of Shibuya. Maki carries on the love of a sister we barely knew, and if you're at all related or affectionate towards Megumi, good luck even being on screen. But there are more subtle things. We're told the kids from Kyoto have a bond that is inseparable, even if they have their own values and truths, and yet the only person we really get to know is Todo. I mean, if it wasn't for the insanity that was the Gainax-inspired mech episode, I would still be rolling my eyes
Gainax? Alita now knows what that is.
to people who actually felt sorry for Mekamaru. In fact, I question the necessity for the school setting in the first place. Of course, it's an analogy for the conservative world, and who better to indoctrinate traditions into children than the education system. But schools can be much more than that. They can be opportunities for socializing.
I want to listen to Berserk being good.
Dead. There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. Please open his mouth.
Guts and Griffith differ in a lot of ways. Griffith is a futurist. He saw
Wait, did he already introduce Berserk? Oh my god, we're talking about Shinji?
because of them, it leads to a much more satisfying and enriching experience when your story is the character, or the characters that
Now, old Evangelion is definitely not about improving systems, so
are it. It's immediately much more engaging. Jujutsu Kaisen knows this. It's not a plot-driven story. The story is only happening because of the ideals of a character, and how the rest of the cast react to those ideals. The only reason JJK feels like it's plot-driven for so many people
Oh, that's
is
not
because it's
Shinji's
notorious
commie
for
hand, that's some
neglecting its own
idiot.
characters, despite those characters being so influential
got
on the
fucked
movement
with.
of the narrative.
Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead. There's a big difference
Oh, I
between
just saw
mostly dead
Saw a castle he can never reach.
and his mouth.
Guts and Griffith differ in a lot of ways. Griffith is a futurist. He saw a castle he can never reach and wanted his own. He's creating his own kingdom as we speak, but he doesn't want to stop there. But the thing about such a great ambition is that it can't exist without a cost. There's
That's an
nothing wrong with
implication. Who knows if Griffith just wants to stop there?
aiming towards the heavens, but a crossroad is made. When the time comes for you to choose between the present that you know, surrounded by the people that you love, or the future at the sacrifice of those same people, which would you pick? It's a story that's oddly critical of being passionate. In fact, it's a lot like Hunter x Hunter in that regard. When you're so zeroed in on your purpose, you forget that the pit stops on your adventure are just
I think in Berserk, at least, it is like passion crashing and burning, and then being really bad in response, this naughty Griffith. I don't think it's like passion bad, though. I think it's like passion can be bad type thing. But you still gotta be passionate. You gotta just, roll with the punches here, Guts. Stop being a little pussy. Go find your girlfriend.
as important as your end goal. Berserk tells you that sometimes striving for perfection within yourself disables you from being content with who you are and where you are and who you're surrounded by.
That's true
I have imposter syndrome. Like, it's fine. I'm fine, but it keeps me from realizing my own potential at times. The fact I have a passion that I can't execute because of my own circumstances and mental state. I also acknowledge I'm not the most consistent uploader or even the best content creator. That eats me up and
Hold on, let's get mad. Oh, hold on. Maybe we're about comparable.
inside, and like, telling that to a self-conscious person like me, it really helped me put things into perspective. When I say Jujutsu Kaisen fails as a story, this is what I mean. In trying to be subversive and deconstructive, it misses something. It misses that genuine connection someone can have with a piece of work. It misses the connection an author can have with their audience. We come so close to prying open the
When you make sweeping statements about things like this, and then it's like the most popular anime ever, how do you reconcile that? Do you just, because I do see this sentiment a lot, and I'm not even in this community at all, where everybody's like, I feel like nobody's like, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, my favorite show ever, I'm keeping up because I just love it. It's like Ari keeping up because he liked the animation, and I guess is vaguely curious about the manga, and then Bacon just watches things he hates all the time and will never drop anything, but he drops some things. He's reading Mushoku Tensei now. What an idiot. Bacon is obsessed with things he thinks are like 6 out of 10s. It's crazy. What's he doing? Why is he watching Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and what's it called, Mushoku Tensei? But I feel like there just has to be a base of like 15-year-olds that do think Jujutsu Kaisen is the greatest thing of all time. I don't know. It's hard to make sweeping statements about people connecting with a series or whatever, and it's because the characters don't do something. I definitely don't think people internalize characters very well, especially when they're young and they're into stories. Like, if you think about, like, my impression of Naruto characters when I was, like, 15 versus now, it's obviously very different. And I would say mine now is largely more accurate. But, like, you obviously don't care about being a biased watcher when you're, like, 15 and watching something. You're just like, I fucking hate this Naruto prick, and I love Itachi, brother. Even though, if you think about that for a second, that's kind of fucking stupid. But, you know, with time and change and stuff, but whatever. Hassan loves One Piece. Yes, I've seen Miller molding about his One Piece takes before. When the good Marines take over and all those bad apples are gone, people will surely love that. Yeah, that's almost absolutely. That's literally been the setup since chapter fucking 1 with Kobe and then Smoker and then I always forget Zoru's girlfriend's name. And I'm not talking about Robin. Keith, get your head out of the gutter. I'm talking about the Sword Girl. It's pretty obvious, and Garp, that we're setting up them like taking over. Garp's probably going to either die or retire, but you know, I know everything about One Piece. You know.
Brain of Akutami, learning about him,
900
learning
days.
about ourselves through him, and then he severs that feeling almost instantly. I can't be invested if you don't let me. Berserk shows you can have a dark story that's simple and still delivers a gut-wrenching and emotional story that even guides someone like me into being a better version of myself. Hunter x Hunter shows that you can be self-indulgent, deep,
Oh my god, it's the gunbuster shot.
kids and still deliver a thought-out, character-driven story that pays attention to the needs of its
That
cast
shot
members.
does look
Both
terrible
intelligent,
though, right? Why is this fella so stilted?
deep, intricate,
I always
and still
thought of
deliver
that.
a thought-out, character-driven story that pays attention to the needs of its cast members. Both of these stories have something Jujutsu Kaisen severely lacks: the heart to care about the very characters
I
it
guess
torments
the
and
second
traps
shot
in the cycle
redeems
of
it a little bit,
Sukuna.
huh?
In the
I'm
Jujutsu
trying to go
Kaisen
back
severely
here, you fucking
lacks.
idiot.
The heart to care about story that pays
Because in the next shot, they're very still.
attention to the needs of its cast members.
Like
Both of these
here?
stories have something Jujutsu Kaisen severely lacks: the heart to care about the very characters it
like a
torments
motif,
and traps
right?
in the cycle of Sukuna, and the will to do anything about it or
Okay,
to
I
show
don't
why
care
that
about
torment
And Sukunas, brother. I saw this video 2 days ago. It just sounds like a Preston Jacobs video. Just listen to it. Daenerys Targaryen, the theory of everything. We're going to learn all the mysteries of Song of Ice and Fire. Daenerys is actually the guy, not Bran. This is going to be crazy. Should I even... Mr. Ross read those books, you know. I'm not completely ignoring chat by watching this video. I just want to watch the intro chat. All right, leave me alone.
Targaryen is not the first character Daenerys Targaryen is not the first character George R.R. Martin created for
Heath, help me. Who does he sound exactly like? Is it Alexander? He has like the same cadence. But his voice doesn't sound like him. Let me check this channel. Have I seen this channel before? Am I fucking things? Oh my god, Dayrun nearly lost Westeros to House Blackfire. Oh, it's a different Dayrun, chat. Everybody calm down. Bloodraven, these are all great titles. How I Met My Mother. Oh, Daemon fucking his mother. This is great. Daemon sipping that weirwood lean. That's a good title. The Idiotic Reign of Aegon the Unworthy. He just loved his kids, alright? Leave him alone. Baelor the Blessed. He was a prick. The Myth of Targaryen Madness. That's a good thumbnail. And a title. Hold on, this might be a channel and a half, chat. And I feel like I've seen some of these thumbnails before. He sounds like Daily Dose of Internet guy. A little bit, huh?
A Song of Ice and Fire.
Look at the cool new covers. Are they that cool, though? I guess.
That honor goes to the Stark family. One day in the summer of 1991, 5 years before a Game of
Yes. I've heard all these things before. He just had the image of Bran picking up a fucking direwolf, and that's when he decided, I'm going to make a Game of Thrones. Thank you.
Thrones was published, the scene of Bran and his brothers finding the orphaned direwolf pups in the summer snow popped into George's head. That daydream turned into the very first chapter he ever wrote. Bran won a Game of Thrones. But when it came time for the first A Song of Ice and Fire material to be published,
Why are her eyes not violet?
George and his editors went with Daenerys Targaryen. Released 1 month before A Game of Thrones, this is
True, this is true. They released like most of Dany's story in a magazine like 2 months before it came out, and there's like a bunch of little changes. Preston has a whole video talking about every single little from this Asimov thing. This is probably a Preston Jacobs fucking image because he bought this fucking thing for $500. I know all this, chat.
Blood of the Dragon, a novella containing 8 of the 10 Daenerys chapters from Book 1. Dany was the
8 of the 10, that's basically what I just
very
said.
first glimpse into George Martin's newest fantasy series, and she's been on one hell of a journey ever since.
And also, you gotta put Dany in her Dumb Dragons in the sci-fi book. Come on now, you're not gonna put Bran in
Watching the third installment of my Winds of Winter predictions mega videos. The first 2 cover the storylines in the north and
Wait,
south.
is this the
watching
third?
third installment into George Martin's newest fantasy series, and she's been on one hell of a journey ever since. You're watching the third installment of my
Oh, we got tricked, chat. We can't watch this video. We gotta watch the first 2 first. Chaos in Westeros, every Winds of Winter plotline. True, Cersei be crazy and stuff. Chaos in the North, true, that little Frey boy just got stabbed, and Ramsay did it, but, you know, we're gonna figure that out later. Now, Minty sent me this video and said, because me and Minty have sort of had this gag that, like, the pick me thing is, like, on its 15th swirl in the irony thingy. Where we've just gone back and forth, where initially you're like, this fucking bitch is a pick-me. But then, it's like, isn't that a little misogynistic? But then there was the counter, no, that's not misogynistic. You have to be able to label things, etc., etc. And then there was the counter, of course, and we're on like the 17th layer of the is calling other girls pick-me behavior, and is this a total chaos of spiraling something? And he sent me this video and said, oh my god, they're finally talking about it. But I don't think we want to watch this video on stream either, so I don't know what the fuck we're doing. You can't have that much battery left. Oh, the PlayStation 5 reveal? I don't know what the fuck. Anti-war films don't exist. I made this point in one of my Vinland Saga videos, you know, this isn't new, bro. Oh my god, I've already watched all the Bookborn video reviews, you know, we don't have to watch that. Hold on, I need to switch my headphone. My ear hurts. Isn't it crazy, Mr. R, that Laura Bailey plays Nadine? 2016 was a wild time, brother. Crazy. Oh my god, this is the song from our Goodbye Attack on Titan video. I always want to watch this video on stream one time, but it's too long. Let's just watch the intro. What the fuck are we doing? We got anything better to do? There probably is like videos I had set aside at some point. Oh, hold on. We haven't checked in on Chibi Reviews and Tyrone Magnus yet. We got to do that. Where's my fucking playlist?
This game
Why?
Pokemon.
I definitely confused this with a trans girl's fucking channel that is good. And I don't think this channel is actually good now. Because they made one about Pokemon. But because of Lara, I thought. Oh, Totally Not Mark made a Big 3 video. That would be fun. Cancelled Crash 5 Did You Know Gaming video. That would be interesting. Oh my god. Madman. Nakey Jakey. Genrobuchi. Why Mewtwo was the perfect villain. I don't like this movie at all. That could be a fun video. An 8-minute Lane video. Why weren't we checking this earlier? Alright, let's just watch the first 2 minutes and see how annoying this is. I thought this video came out like 20 years ago.
I just rant a bit. Skip to here if you just want to see a rerun. Okay, so honestly, I sympathize with Isayama. Writing an ending to Attack on Titan is really hard, but it's also hard for the same reason that the climax is incredibly exciting. That is, rather than have a big
Is he Australian chat or Kiwi or something? What's going on here? I
bad
don't like
heroes
it.
to take down, Isayama created this incredibly compelling problem that, because of our main character's inherent character traits, leads them to try to solve that problem in different ways, and that disagreement pits them against each other as mortal enemies. That's a hell of a climax to your story, but it also comes with problems, especially when you get into the specifics. The story basically forces its characters into an impossible choice, where it's either them or the entire outside world, innocence included. With the only plan that minimizes these casualties on both sides requires you sacrifice Historia, a character with royal blood, by turning her into a Titan shifter, limiting her lifespan to 13 years, and then when that time frame is up, her children have to be next by way of eating their mother alive. So you can save the outside world, but it requires you sacrifice one person on your side, turn them into a breeding machine, and then force her children to do the same for the next 50 years. The only way to avoid this outcome is to activate the Rumbling, effectively a mega nuke, a powerful but indiscriminate weapon, and destroy
See, they didn't let Historia be selfless and stuff. If we bring this
much
back
the
to
outside
our
world that they
silly
want
narrative we had
be a
before.
threat to you, while you make up the massive technological gap between you and the outside world, so that you don't have to rely on the rumbling that necessitates you sacrifice Historia. At which point our main character Aaron goes, fuck it, in for a penny, in for a pound, and just decides to wipe everything clean, because he's got like 4 years left to live, debatably can't access this power again after this if he changes his mind, and ultimately wants to guarantee safety to the people he cares about. And there's like also some stuff about like ending the cycle of violence or whatever. Now, I think the exact amount of the rumbling that
Was
is
there?
necessary is debatable, but ultimately the story does a very good job of setting up a very compelling moral conflict. It's a hypothetical manifest, an impossible choice. A lot of people get kind of antsy about this, but and the ending like kind of.
Oh my god, why was it my video here?
Impossible choice. A lot of people get.
Whose fucking video is this, and why do they have more than me? Aren't we only at 50,000? But whatever, okay. I'm more interested in these videos now. We've got a Lane video. This is crazy. Didn't I open a third one? Or maybe it was just these two. Maybe the 3 in total.
The villain serves multiple valuable purposes in a story.
I love vague video essays where we start on vague concepts like villain, and we're going to talk about all our favorite villains for a little while before we get to the actual point of the video. This is going to be epic. Smaller YouTube says we got to be nice.
You and I-
No, it's not that small. It's bigger than me. Ranking the most insane Jimmy Neutron episodes. I always get Jimmy Neutron confused with the idiot with the lab. Bo Burnham tried to warn us, ranking every SpongeBob episode, how Kendrick Lamar became the greatest rapper alive. What an eclectic young man's channel. This is crazy. Level 1 rock. Then we've got Lane. No, this is Lane. Now that's a small channel. Justifiably Noah. Video discusses topic including suicide and something else. Suicide here. Shout out Suicide. January inspiring episode of Pokemon Horizons. We don't care about Pokemon Horizons, only the great Ash Ketchum here. How Saki in the end of the world, true. The weapon was not needed, the girl who became a fish. These seem weird and esoteric, so we like that. Let's see Mewtwo first.
A great villain is both awesomely terrifying
You ever seen Breaking Bad or The Joker? This is crazy.
and awesomely cool. They often
Oh,
exude
Maru Uchiha.
certain dark
Shitty Darth Vader. We hate Darth Vader.
that's
He
terrible.
sucks.
A
Star
great
Wars
villain is
sucks.
both awesomely terrifying and awesomely cool. They often exude a certain dark energy that's terrible, yet you can't quite look away. They pose a serious threat to the hero
Oh, we
characters
love
and often
Thanos.
to the world. And deep down, they have conviction, their why, the twisted philosophy that drives all their action, which, importantly, must be confronted
See,
with
this is
empathy.
what I'm talking about, chat. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're hunting out here, chat. This is what we're going to get with our great ranking video. The people, they love pocket monsters. We give them pocket monsters and we got to get rich.
You and I were born.
Then I would have Uncharted 1 footage because I'll pay Mr. R $700 to do it next time. Look at this shit. It's by far a popular video, I think. Nope, I'm a liar. Not even close. It is still there, though. See, ranking SpongeBob, that got even more. And everybody decided they liked Bo Burnham for a little while, but I never watched Inside, so...
heroes in the final act. And in this way, villains directly challenge not just the abilities, but the beliefs of the heroes. Your heroes can only shine
But it's so dumb.
as bright as the villains are dark. And an easy opposition is not a story, but an incredible threat that's never been seen before, when that pushes the heroes to their limits and then some, not knowing if they'll be able to save themselves in the world. That's a story. Mewtwo was a perfect villain because he checks all of these boxes and more. His story is a philosophical questioning of the meaning of life and of power, one that leads us to a curious paradox. But in order to understand Mewtwo, we have to understand Mew.
Yes. Let's all go to University of chat.
That is Mew, the rarest of all Pokemon.
Mew is an enigma.
Voice acting's pretty cool. Pokemon is a great double.
It's undoubtedly the most elusive Pokemon to ever exist. While only ever appearing for a rare split second in the eyes of lucky beholders, we as the viewer are treated to some quality screen time with Mew to learn what it's doing. Mew appears to be one with
What is
nature,
this Mew bubble footage from?
blissfully enjoying the moment-to-moment unraveling of life without a care in the world. Mew represents purity. What you're looking at is an enlightened being, and as the ancestor of all Pokemon, it's said to be
Because Mew's in the first movie, he's in the Mewtwo second movie. There's 3 Mewtwo movies, isn't there? Or is there just 2? I think there's just 2. There's the main one, obviously, and the direct-to-DVD one. And then it's also in the Lucario movie, but I don't think that's the same Mew. But the Pokemon anime is always weird about whether or not it's the same Legendary when Legendaries re-show up.
one of the most powerful of all time, which naturally allures scientists to try to harness such a power with funding from Team Rocket's Giovanni.
We dreamed of creating the world's strongest Pokemon. And we succeeded.
Which is all the information we would know at this point, if we were excluding the additional layers to the story. While it was removed from the final cut of the English version of the film, fans agree that the uncut story of Mewtwo's origin adds significant depth to not just
Yes,
Mewtwo,
yes,
but Dr.
we all
Fuji.
love
Here we see the
uncut
scientist
part.
collecting the fossil and a younger Mewtwo that resembles the original more, who spends its first moments coming into existence
he's
in a
got a friend
computerized
and a
shared
little
space with the
girlfriend, and it's
consciousnesses of a
crazy.
few other cloned Pokemon and a young girl.
But the girlfriend's fucking
Well,
dead, bro.
you look like a Pokemon, but you talk.
This is what Mewtwo experiences before anything else. Surreal social interaction in the metaphysical space that is Dr. Fuji's hard drive. He bonds with a girl named Amber 2, the in-progress clone of Dr. Fuji's deceased daughter,
Based Amber 2.
Amber.
I've reawakened her consciousness here in this chamber.
Why are you doing this?
You can't bring Amber back. You're wrong.
Having this context, we now understand that Dr. Fuji is not just some mad scientist under the funding of the evil Giovanni, but a broken man walking a dark path in desperation of filling the void. This sympathetic angle is a critical detail that allows us to understand his intentions on a human level.
But here's the thing. Pokemon is about jokes. And this ain't too funny.
Twisted as they are.
Mewtwo doesn't make a single fucking joke in this whole goddamn movie.
Wind.
Wind?
The wind helps us along. Sometimes it's soft and sometimes it's very strong.
Unfortunately, all of the clones except for Mewtwo are unable to sustain any longer, and tragically, Mewtwo experiences loss for the first time.
I feel something. What are these?
The one who helped him understand what life is, and what he is, has vanished before his eyes.
Don't cry, Mewtwo. You should be happy. You're alive, and life is wonderful.
So now we understand
$700, huh? Yeah, when I'm making $20,000 a month, I'll send Mr. R about
that when
$700.
Mewtwo awakens in the tank, larger and matured, and says,
This is not the same.
But remember, some of those Uncharted 1 levels are a little shitty.
Everything before.
It'll be hard work.
A dream.
That's what he's talking about. The traumatic loss of Amber 2 and the other clones, which is now only a faded memory of a past life.
I have slept for so long, but I remember something, someone.
So it goes without saying that Mewtwo's birth is unlike anyone else's. Take the strongest Pokemon in existence and empower it with science and technology. He was sedated to forget what happened before, meaning that Mewtwo awakens in this life, here, as a fully functioning adult mind, one imbued with psychic powers, locked in a tank, surrounded by staring eyes.
Life is wonderful, but why?
I'm curious if the writer and... I don't think the director is the same from the original show.
Life.
Hold on. Let's just look this up now. But I want to watch that Lane video. I'll look it up later, chat. You don't care anyway. Let's start the Lane video. Let's see. What if it's shit? Who knows? What if it's just clips or something?
This show can be quite difficult to understand.
Oh, we got a great microphone.
There are a lot of plot points to remember and a lot of characters to follow. But I believe
True. I was thinking about Lane the other day and I'm like, man, what happened in this fucking show? It looked cool though.
Messaging is very simple. The show was released in the late 90s, right at the advent of the internet. Quite obviously, this event has really changed the entire world. The show has rightfully been seen as an intricate meditation on this changing landscape, while injecting a lot of sci-fi into it to further the messaging. While other contemporary works to it would be optimistic of the internet, or retain a certain level of distance from it, this show confronts it head-on and has a very dire outlook for the internet. But beyond that is where I believe the true universality of the show resides. The internet is not seen as a completely new thing overthrowing the established order. No, instead it is seen as something that will only exacerbate the current problems of the current order. Every human has faced loneliness. Every human comes to a point where they realize they only exist in their minds. We have all felt completely isolated. Now, how will the internet affect those feelings? The internet serves as a respite from the real world, where one can connect themselves to anything outside their real lives. But how far can it really take us? Can the internet offer real connection? According to Lane's father, the internet is only a means of advanced communication, and as such cannot offer the same real connection that the real world can give us. Something that Lane immediately says to her father is wrong. To her, this world offers the ultimate connection and freedom from the constraints of the human body, but the show tells us that this isn't true either. Lane meets a wide assortment of people in The Wire, but her feelings of isolation are not fixed in this digital world. In fact, it makes her feel even more alone. She becomes disconnected to the people in her life partly because of her connection to The Wire. What's more is that these worlds, while both isolating, do not exist independently of each other. It was expected that the real world would have an effect on The Wire, but The Wire itself begins having an effect on the real world. The separation of these two worlds start becoming more and more meaningless. Though this is done in a very direct way, I believe the metaphor is strong. This show was able to basically foresee that the internet was going to be something that would forever change the way we think of the world and interact with each other. So it's clear that this show was pioneering this new landscape of internet-focused storytelling, but its messaging is so human that it transcends time. I believe the main theme of the show is isolation, and how that can drive one to the brink of suicide. The Wire is presented as an alternate world where one can finally be happy and free. As such, Lane is pushed further and further to the idea of eliminating her own body to join this world and be free. I think the metaphor is obvious here. The first thing we see in the show is the death of Chisa Yomaga. She jumps off the building and dies gruesomely because she was following this idea of finally freeing herself from the world. The only issue is that the Wire is actually cold and isolating too. Chisa Yomaga's suicide.
I think I just had an epiphany that Lane is not about the internet at all, and it's just a weird front to do cool sci-fi things. Like having two worlds overlap and fuck with each other.
On the entire show. Its presence is what starts off everything. In her final seconds, she seems happy to let go, but you see her again towards the end of the show, and her outlook has changed significantly. Masami Eri tries to lure Lane into killing herself, telling her that death is quick and that she would be happier afterwards. However, Chisa appears too. She doesn't say as much as Eri, but she speaks more hauntingly in powerful words. She tells Lane that death is actually extremely painful, and not to do it. These words have a profound effect on Lane, and convinces her to live. This show, despite its dark art style and themes, becomes so beautiful in these scenes. This setup of someone who has already committed suicide, sadly telling someone else to not do what they have done because they regret it, is visceral and human. Throughout this story, we are being told to just let go of the human body and free ourselves from this terrifying and paranoid world. This show doesn't even really offer a counter-argument to this claim. Why not free ourselves from our bodies? If we are, as the show so clearly says, nothing more than a bunch of cells activating, transmitting, and receiving signals, then if we can leave our minds and go elsewhere, why not? Alice, the friend of Lane, tells her only that she thinks Lane is wrong. That's it. She doesn't articulate that reason. She just says that it seems wrong to her. What a poor argument. You'd think it would be over for Lane here, but it isn't. Hayao Miyazaki once said, "We tend to think that unless we can explain everything in words, we cannot rationalize things." When Lane is given a hug and feels that human connection, there isn't anything to say. That hug, that show of love, is unachievable in The Wire. It's not strictly needed.
I mean, in shows like this, there's always, like, the bleeding heart, like, nice girl who, like... He's like, no, don't kill yourself. Hugs are nice.
To be alive, but when trying to cope with this often unforgiving world, a hug is a real help.
Like,
and just a side note, but the artwork in the show is really good. It reflects the emotion of each scene. Oddly, it reminds me of how scary being awake at night used to be when I was a really little kid. Combined with the sense of dread with the themes and how it never breaks atmosphere, the show is very unsettling. That and the masterful writing really makes the messages come through. Anyway, end of side note. Then again, what really are we? Why?
Lena Ree, this fucking idiot, watched like 2 episodes of this show. That's nearly like most of the show. One day we'll go and watch the whole thing, huh?
What is existence? Lane comes to the conclusion that she only exists in the minds of others. If no one remembers her, then she doesn't exist. She comes to the conclusion
I'm
that
sure
this will be the
Mira
best
and Bacon would do this one. Though I seem to remember like Bacon had watched like 1 episode or something.
outcome for everybody. After using her powers, she resets the world. All those that died in the course of the series are alive again, and her friend Alice is unaware that she ever had a friend named Lane. While this choice is certainly questionable, it is understandable. So much pain and care had been inflicted onto the world, and much of it centered around Lane. So even after receiving human connection after thinking she had lost everyone, she still can't bear to see the world as it is with her in it. In this new state, she becomes lost and falls deeper and deeper into sadness. Yet
I think it, because I remember the last time I was watching Lane, it was really fun to try and figure out what all the symbols mean. And I did have like a video idea about like trying to go through it. Also, the balls to just call the video Lane is great. Really good. And for it to still get views, because Lane is oddly popular in like these niche sections. At least much more than something like even like Razafan or like Brigagoon or even like Escaflowne, where there are like 200, 300,000 view videos about like Lane. Berserk is always like the apex of that, of like interest meeting popularity, where Berserk isn't that popular, but like the interest in Berserk content is so high that there's like so many, like if you compared like, I don't even know if this is true now that I'm going to say it. I was going to be like, if you compared Fairy Tail to Berserk, Fairy Tail is almost certainly more popular and more well-known and more seen. And then if you compared, like, YouTube video views, I feel like Berserk would do more. I feel like Berserk probably has, like, 50 plus, a million viewed videos. You know, nearly 51 plus, if you know what I'm saying, chat. But Fairy Tail's got to have some, like, a million view YouTube videos. But everything else I can think of is probably not equivalent. Like, I don't know if Vinland Saga probably has many 1 million view videos. Though even then, Vinland Saga more recently has had a relatively successful anime adaptation. But I don't know, Berserk just has the annoying reputation it has for being just so great, chat, just so great. So, I don't know. But anyway.
It's wonderful. But why?
Oh, we're looking this up now. Pokemon, the first movie. Pokemon Indigo episodes. Uh-oh, I'm really flat. This is all the time we have left. Hey, I'm trying to click on things here, chat. Pokemon the first movie. Writer, director. Screenplay by Takeshi... I don't remember the name. I think this might be the Pokemon guy, actually. Why wasn't it funny if you made it, you moron? Now, let's scroll down. Yeah, it is. Okay. The director's probably not the same guy. He also directed Magical Princess. I swear when I looked over it, I saw My Hero Academia, but now I'm not seeing it. Where's 1996? So he is just the general director, also OVA specials. So I guess it was the actual Pokemon team that made this terrible, terrible Pokemon movie. So, anyways. But we're going flat at a fast rate. We nearly got an hour. That's pretty good. Plus, we got an old recording session done beforehand. I'm trying to type in the doc. Pretty good. I probably won't stream tomorrow. Maybe I'll be though I might be recording, hopefully recording the end of the outro of the shitty Last of Us video. And by shitty I mean the greatest Last of Us video any of you have ever seen. You're gonna be so excited, an hour long. Best ENT video yet, you'll see. So I don't know, maybe I'll stream tomorrow. Just follow Twitter to find out. Get out of here.